Hello, this is Teresa Rich from Reflexology UK. I'm actually in Systen today, amazing. So I'm going to talk to you about the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, just the basics, and how important it is to get out and just walk around in nature. I mean, today we're in Systen, we've just been right up to Golden Cap and it was lovely, and it's the first day of my week off, so it's been lovely, really lovely for me. And it's quite funny really, because when you own a business, a lot of the time you're in the sympathetic nervous system. Everything's alert, you're always moving forward, there's a lot of adrenaline buzz, and that can lead to inflammatory responses within your body. And even though, when you're working from home like a lot of us currently are, it can be very all-consuming, and the sympathetic nervous system stimulates so many different things, like the heart pumping faster, with higher pressure. There's so many different things that it actually does, and our breathing changes and increases because we're under stimulation because of the adrenaline in the body. So there are different mechanisms of things you can do to bring the parasympathetic to calm the body down. And some of the things that I naturally do every morning are yoga. So I spend half an hour doing yoga with a lady called Infinity Yoga. She's on Zoom online. That's wonderful. Doing that inside is fantastic, especially during the COVID-19 crisis, where we're not allowed to be in environments and all that sort of stuff, mixing together. Another thing that I actually do is have breaks every hour. So I'll set my alarm for 50-minute breaks, and basically what I'll try to do is move around, get up from my desk if I'm doing a lot of videos or computer work, and sometimes I just go out into the garden, and by going out into the garden I'm actually in nature to readjust my eyes from being with a screen. So that's another thing I do. I will also try, this is just trying for all of you to bring the parasympathetic nervous system down, to bring everything in the body as calm as it can be. So your skin isn't inflammatory, there's no inflammatory conditions in your body, like headache and so on. Calm all systems down, especially if your personality, pretty much like me, where I'm stimulated. So I try to do more calming things. For some people, if they're quite calm people, they most probably need more stimulants. They most probably need to do the higher energy stuff to get their body moving. It's getting the balance of everything, isn't it? It's not just about actually just doing a zen of yoga all the time. It's also about getting out in the fresh air, getting your heart pumping. So for me, I like to play tennis. That gets me going. But I am quite a stimulated person. So, the calmer things are actually fit for my personality. So, like I said, being with nature, being with animals, it's so important, really. And also being around people that are calming, not drama orientated, and will really help calm you down as well. I've got a cow coming towards me, a couple of these type of cows. What type of cows do you call these, Rob?
Charolais.
Now, these are the brown kind, the beigey brown kind that are all deciding they're coming. At least there's no bulls in here anyway. So, everyone's keeping their 2 metre distance, which is nice. But will these animals keep the 2 metre distance? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about that one. He seems to be put in his territory, doesn't he? And Rob used to be a cow man when he was younger.
Brought up on a farm.
He was brought up on a farm, so he sort of knows. He's all right around all these animals. I'm not sure I want to be in the middle of a field of cows, but I'm sure it's all fine and everything. But just understanding how different cows are. They're all herding together, aren't they? Anyway, so like I was saying, I can't remember where I was at, but I think it depends on your personality type. as well, because I've noticed, you know, in life there's like the yogis, they all do the calm stuff, but I also think they need the stimulant. They need also to have, you know, the cardiovascular. We all need to be pumping our heart to a certain level. So I think the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system always needs to be in balance, otherwise you'll stagnate. So it's like the weather, one minute it's calm, next minute it goes, you know, and that's the same with our bodies. As long as we give ourselves time throughout the day to allow all the senses, all the systems of the body to calm down, then it has time to recuperate, re-energize, and that means, you know, the same thing with sleep. And I think today, in today's society, blue screens have a lot of answering to do, to answer to. And that can even be with mobile phones and looking at them. So one way to protect your eyes is every hour, if you're on a screen, just turn away from it for like 5 or 10 minutes. Close your eyes for 5 minutes. You know, that again will calm your body down. And there's these special sort of like glasses, what are they called? They're like red glasses, filtered glasses, that will actually help protect you when you're either watching television, when you're on the screen. So you can dim the brightness of the screen, because that brightness can also affect your brain and make it really stimulated, which then has a knock-on effect onto stimulating you and stopping you from sleep. So we've got quite a lot of other people here, so I'm going to cut it there. Okay, we're almost getting down to Systen now. Some of the other things I think you can actually do. Well, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a reflexologist and a holistic trainer. But some of the other things that you can do, which are really quite straightforward to bring you, to bring your body back down into the parasympathetic nervous system, is to not have as much caffeine or caffeinated stimulants like Coke, coffee, all those sorts of things. This doesn't matter about people coming up. There's people coming up, we'll most probably have to keep a 2-metre gap as well. So, and just keep drinking lots of water, because that really helps your parasympathetic nervous system. And I would also suggest lots of vegetable, you know, because when you have that, it's just phenomenal what it does for the body. And eat slowly. You know, these are all ways we can work our parasympathetic nervous system. So I was just talking about food and how we can use food to calm the parasympathetic nervous system down. The other thing I was going to say was, when we're in sort of like a really stressful situation, sometimes we allow our head to kick in and we start having the caffeine, we start having the wrong foods, we have the chocolate. But when you're in that stressful situation, if you are able to leave the things that stimulate our body, I know it's difficult, but things like caffeine and chocolate, sugar, all of these things, I know they stimulate you and you think you need it, but actually the body releases enough adrenaline to stimulate you and get the sympathetic nervous system going. So in order to stay grounded when you are under stress and your body is naturally working in a sympathetic nervous system, I would suggest just rely on your own body to have that adrenal release, because the adrenaline being released from the adrenals will give you that boost. And you can do natural things like exercise to give you that boost. Even people can give you the energy that you want. You can get a hit of people if they are positive, if they're light-hearted, they're fun, and they can give you that adrenaline boost when you need it. You know, if you're teaching or if you've got a group of people you're talking to, they're natural ways, and you don't have to rely on cigarettes and caffeine and, you know, all these artificial stimulants, because it takes so much longer to get over it. One of the other things I would suggest, though, is having boundaries around your phone, because if you're constantly alert there, you're not going to be sleeping well enough, and you're going to have problems with your sleep, because another consequence of the sympathetic nervous system is sleep and insomnia, and that's never going to help when you're trying to run a business efficiently. you're speaking to someone that is a highly stimulated person. So I've had to really work hard on avoiding caffeine, avoiding alcohol. And to some people this is going to sound really boring, but actually it's really about getting in tune with how your body is naturally, and then your body naturally talks to you. And other things like limiting your amount of artificial sugar, and then you can rely on your body to naturally produce the hormones it needs to stimulate you, to get you going, and so on. Then you may find that there's steps here, that there are transitions that happen when you've been really stimulated, your sympathetic nervous system's been working, and you've most probably been really careful with food, etc. What you'll find is, there's another step there, what you'll find is that there'll be a void, there'll be a point where your body goes, whew, I haven't got much energy, why have I not got much energy? Well, if you allow that void, that space, okay, if you allow that space to actually allow your body to come down even more, then as long as you're not using artificial substances, like sugar, caffeine, etc., what'll happen is you'll go through that and then your energy levels will come back. So it's important to be aware of your body without using all the artificial substances, and be aware of your personality type as well. Because if you're quite stimulated, try doing more parasympathetic system activities and food, whereas if you're a more parasympathetic type of person, you're more flatter, you're more, people would say, calmer, then try doing a few more exercises that are going to stimulate you, so you get the balance. Because nature doesn't just stay flat. It has its storms, it has its whirlwinds, and it has all those different kinds. And it has a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. So try it out. That's all, and let me know. How do you get on with controlling your own sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system? I totally believe that we can have a huge influence on this, especially if we work it within our business. It doesn't always have to be on stimulation. Okay, so that was just a little bit about Trees Rich. I'm just about heading down now. Do you want to show them the views? Heading down to Systen. I'm on my first day off, so I'm really trying to work my parasympathetic nervous system, although we're doing quite a lot of walking in the hills anyway, but it's absolutely brilliant. So I'll catch you all soon on the next video. Bye!